campaign coordinator with Align, an advocacy group uniting labor and community for a just New York. We are here today as a part of New Yorkers for a Fair Economy, which is an unprecedented coalition of labor organizations, small businesses, and immigrant and community organizations fighting against monopolies and abuse of corporate power. I want to give a shout out to some members of our coalition partners who are here. We have the Teamsters Joint Council 16.
Woo!
Yeah. We have New York Communities for Change.
Yeah.
We have the Strategic Organizing Center.
Woo!
And we also have some local business owners and community members who are here to speak with us. So today we are proud to stand with those Bronx small business owners, workers, and community members who are struggling to survive as big tech and big businesses like Amazon have moved into their community, making it impossible for them to compete. What's happening here in the Bronx is happening all over New York State and the country. We need to update our anti-monopoly laws to protect these communities, and we need the 21st Century Antitrust Act now. We are pleased to have our lead sponsors in the Senate and the Assembly here with us today. We have Deputy Leader Michael Gianaris.
Woo!
And we have Assembly Member Jeffrey Dinowitz,
Woo!
who have been great champions of the legislation. So first, I'd like to introduce Senator Gianaris.
Woo!
Thank you, Katie. And the one group should mention was Align, so thank you for Change, the Teamsters, we love the people that can stand. And most importantly, the reason why we're doing all this work is that for the small businesses throughout the state, that's represented here today in the Bronx, and some of the small business organizations that are here standing with us. Make no mistake, folks, we are now in the midst of the second Gilded Age in this country. We have very few, very large corporations who hold all the power in their hands. And when I say they hold all the power in their hands, I'm not just talking about market power. They certainly have that. They have been squeezing small businesses, even medium-sized businesses, but also they have power over all aspects of our lives. Our privacy is at risk. Our government is at risk. You see companies like Amazon that are imposing their will on local governments throughout this country. When the City Council of Seattle dared to enact a law that they thought would help their community that Amazon opposed, they spent millions and millions of dollars to try and defeat city council people. Imagine that, you're a city council person doing the best for your community, and the biggest company on earth is spending millions of dollars to defeat you because you're trying to do the right thing. That's what we're up against right now. Too much power in too few hands has always been dangerous throughout the course of history. That's exactly what we're fighting against here. By the way, they talk a lot about how tech needs to innovate and do research and they do all this stuff. Well, they're actually impeding that. We have a number of small and medium-sized tech companies, tech startups, that get suffocated by the big companies. They don't have the opportunity to innovate the way they should. And so this is bad any way you look at it. I'm so glad the Teamsters are here because it is also bad for employees. When there are just a few employers dominating these employment markets, that takes power away from the workers. That's why this bill also would create few protections for that scenario. So we're going to work as hard as we can. We have great partners in the Assembly, led by Senator Dinowitz, you're going to hear from shortly. And we're committed to getting this done. We're going to do whatever we have to keep building, keep organizing, and get this passed to return power to the people of this state and get it out of the hands of the mega corporations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. Next, we will have Assemblymember Jeffrey Dinowitz, who is the lead sponsor in the Assembly.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Align. Thank you, Teamsters 210. I am really proud to be here today, standing with everybody who's here. You know, I remember when we were kids, learning in school about trusts and monopolies at the beginning of the 20th century and the negative impact that it had. And we learned about the trust busters and the titans of the late 19th century. We started to control all the industries, whether it's the railroads or steel or any one of a number of other industries. And the United States took action back then. We had people, I think they called President Roosevelt at the time, a trust buster. Well, it's been over 100 years, and we're kind of getting back to those times in many ways. So I'm not here because I'm anti-business, because I am not anti-business. I am pro-business, because being pro-business means you're pro-workers. Yes. But we want to be pro the right kind of business.
That's right.
And I stand here in particular to support small business, like my friend right over here who owns the store behind us. Smaller businesses and medium-sized businesses, and you know what? Even bigger businesses are being squeezed out by these mega giants, and we have to do something about it. I don't want to destroy them. I want them to do the right thing. I want them to not have more power than they should have, not only over businesses within their realm, but over our own communities. And the 21st Century Antitrust Act, I think, addresses some of these issues. So I think it's important that we stand up for workers and we stand up for the smaller businesses. And that's what this legislation does, and I think that's what we need to work to get done. And so I'm proud to sponsor it and to support it, and I thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Francisco Marte, who is the owner of the bodega that we're standing in front of today, and the founder of the Bodega and Small Business Association.
Like I said, my name is Francisco Martes. I'm a founder of Bodega and Small Business Association. I'm the owner of the store right here behind us. We've been suffering since long time ago from the big corporation that they has been coming and taking over our small business. They have the ability to invest, have a lot of inventory. They have the store. So this is impossible for a local business like mine to compete. We are more than 71% of the small business in New York are still experiencing a negative effect from the pandemic. And the price, we've been having a lot of problems because the chains of supply is resulting in shortage for us, for the small business, and the price they hike for the consumer. Companies like Amazon, Getty, Gorillas, Bike Up, Pop-Up, and a lot of other companies, they are taking over our business. They don't pay as much tax because most of them, they know how to get away. They got a tax abide. We don't get nothing of that. So we need our elected official to support this act. The 21st Century Antitrust Act is something that we need so we can still stay in our community, operating our business, employing our community members, and having the support of our elected leaders. So those big companies, they don't go away. Those Antitrust Act, we need to be approved. And I ask to all our elected leaders again, approve this act in favor of the people who elected, the community who elected you, not this corporation that come from somewhere else, and they come with a lot of money just to take away our business and destroy our community. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francisco. Next up, we have Reverend Carmen Hernandez, who is the president of the New York State Hispanic Coalition Chamber of Commerce.
Before we start, I want everybody, the representatives and you guys right here behind us. You don't belong sideways, you belong right above. All of you move over because it's about you. And it's about you understanding us as a community. Here we go. Now we're leaving. Now I feel better. That's how I roll. Right there.
I would like you to feel better.
Right? Thank you. We go way back. My name is Reverend Carmen Hernandez, and I'm the first Latina to hold this position as the New York State Coalition of Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I am glad to be here to speak today. For me, it's personal to support mom and pop stores. They are the core of the community. My mom was a street vendor here in the Bronx, on the Southview section of the Bronx. And she had a small business selling products. It was hard running a business as a woman raising a family of 9 children. I'm the eldest of the daughters. And she couldn't afford to purchase a brick and mortar store because the rent was back then. Now, as you can imagine, the rent is much higher. And big corporations like Amazon have driven prices higher, increasing pollution and controlling our communities. These corporate companies moving in means we are losing our moms and pop stores. They can't compete with the prices and the spread and the work and the speed and the work you so hard for so many hours to just pay you little and with no health coverage. That is sad. I am living proof. That is why I left the retail business many years ago. They slave you for a little pay. Since then, I spent my life organizing and small business owners for 40 plus years of my life, making sure that we empower each other in our neighborhood. Small business and community working hand in hand in partnership for life. But we need help. We can't do it alone. We need New York State Legislature to update our anti-monopoly laws and make sure mom and pop stores have a chance to compete. We must put the power back into the hands of our small businesses and our communities and pass the 21st century Antitrust Act. Thank you. It's very important. It's very important. This is for me 40 plus years. This is not because I'm saying it. It's because I'm a living proof. It's hard, especially women-owned business that trying to strive. We have witnessed even Grand Concourse, women losing their businesses because the landlord wanted to raise the rent beyond, and that was in the 90s. Imagine now. It is unfair that now these corporate used to be small businesses, and now they're bullying the small business themselves. I refuse, and I'm willing to fight with you guys to make sure that our mom and pop stay intact because they're the hardcore of our community. And you know I fight for that for many years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmen. This is a personal issue for a lot of people, both business owners and for workers. So next, I want to introduce Anthony Rosario, Teamsters Local 804 Stewart.
Thank you, everybody, and good morning. I'm Anthony Rosario, and I'm a proud 28-year Teamster with Local 804 in New York, and I've been with UPS for the same amount of time. The Teamsters are here today because huge corporations like Amazon are hurting workers. When a corporation grows as powerful, they can set wages and working conditions for the entire industry. Companies like Amazon, these mega corporations, are using that power to make workers work harder for less. I've been in the package delivery industry for, as I said, almost 28 years, and Amazon pays their workers half as much as we do for doing the same. They pay their workers half as much to do the same job that we do.
Shame.
Which isn't right. If they're doing what we're doing, they should be making at least as much money as we are. We're all in the same industry, and that's what they do. They come to town and they bring down the industry standards. Standards that have been fought by Teamsters for decades just to get us where we're at today, with good pensions, with good paying benefits, and good wages. I've already seen the Amazon effect and what it's done to the workers and what it's done to my family, not being able to show up to one of my kids' karate matches or maybe a sporting event because I had to work overtime because I was forced to do so. Also working on weekends now. Almost everybody's become the norm now to start working throughout the whole week. What happened to having time with your family? As Teamsters, we built our high working standards by striking and protesting side by side with other workers in our industry.
We stand in solidarity with the community and small businesses who are also being hurt by abusive mega corporations. And we are demanding that our elected officials step up to hold these bad companies accountable. Pass the 21st Century Antitrust Act immediately. I want to thank Assemblymember Dinowitz and Senator Gianaris for championing this legislation. Thank you guys very much. We are taking on powerful corporations, but with unions and small businesses standing in solidarity, standing together, I know that we can win. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I know, Anthony was saying that this is an issue that also impacts families, and we clearly have some families here with us today. So thank you all so much for coming today to hear about the issue that the New Yorkers for a Fair Economy is championing. And thank you again to the lead sponsors of the 21st Century Antitrust Act. And I appreciate you all coming out on this beautiful sunny day to hear our story. Thank you.
We say, get out. They say corporate handouts. We say,
Get out!
they say corporate handouts. They say corporate handouts.
Get out!
They say corporate handouts.
Get out!
When communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united
We'll never be defeated!
The people united.
We'll never be defeated!
The people united.
We'll never be defeated!